And exercise 5.4 is the standard, straightforward question, which we have to start with the standard one. So I'll put these over there. Anyone still writing? Doesn't look like it. But let me know if you need to go back. Okay, exercise 5.4. These we have to be able to do flawlessly. And there are many problems that are that level. I will highlight them afterwards. The only challenge here is that we might have more than 2 sets. Now, this is a very wordy one. We'll read the whole thing except the actual questions, and then see what are we able to do? What do we really know? How overwhelming is it? An elementary school is offering 3 language classes, one in Spanish, one in French, one in German. These classes are open to any of the 100 students in the school. There are 28 students in the Spanish class, 26 in the French class, and 16 in the German class. There are 12 students that are in both Spanish and French, 4 that are in both Spanish and German, 6 that are in both French and German. There are 3 students taking all 3 classes. If I ask you how many students are taking 1 or more language classes, I have no idea. Could not tell you without guessing wildly. But if I follow these steps, they are going to guide me through it. So first of all, how many sets do we need to use? I'm not going to get away with less than 3 because I have 3 different languages. Now, do I say, what's the first one? Spanish. Do I say es equal Spanish? Why not? Is my set a language? My set is a collection of people. People taking Spanish. It's not the number, it's the set. These are not the same thing. I'm looking for the number, but I'm working with the set of people taking Spanish. So I'm looking, are you clearly explaining what your set represents? Clearly. Because you're not always there to explain it. The question, your answer has to stand on its own. And then I will use a letter for French, but it represents the set or collection of people. I know it's wordy in the beginning, but it's our setup. It's important. Taking French. My writing is not very good today. Let me know if you can't read something. And G. Now the words are exactly the same, so I can do a little bit of a shortcut. That's okay. Because I've written all the words, the sentence structure is exactly the same. But that's okay. No confusion there. But don't say G is German. It is not. It is not. Okay. I've identified that I need 3 sets in my Venn diagram. Let us put them in their general position because I know nothing at this stage about them. Spanish, French, German people. Well, no, not German people. They wouldn't be taking German. Oh, maybe they would. Still people. So I have a bunch of dots there that are the people. And of course, my rectangle represents everything. Now, I just start from the beginning because why not? Classes are open to any of the 100 students. The 100 is the universal set number, so I can put that in. I know it's not a single region, it's the exception, it's the rectangle. It's okay. Sort of the exception to those steps. Because it's not even a region, I just put it outside. There are 28 students in the Spanish class. Do I put the 28 somewhere? Do I put the 28 there? No. I mean, you could. No one's stopping you. And I see it every time. And then I see mistakes every time. It's not a single region. I don't put it in. You can put it on the side. But in this basic question, you'll see in a second why that's not necessary. So often, you don't even have to worry about putting it on the side, as long as I eventually have it somewhere. Right now, it's not a single region. I might have to loop back and use that 28 later. That's okay. So don't expect to read this once and have everything done. It's a little bit of a process. 26 in French. No, that's a French circle, sure, but there are 4 regions in that circle. I can't put it in. Well, I can. I don't want to. My safety prevents me from doing that. 16 in German class? No. Same reason. There are 12 students that are in both Spanish and French. Can I put the 12 in? Spanish and French would be this over here. That's 2 regions. Close. Not yet. But I'm not worried. It'll all work out in the end. 4 that are in both Spanish and German. Same problem. That overlap, because of the third circle, is creating 2 regions. 6 that are in both French and German. Nope, same problem. But there are 3 students taking all 3 classes. That's a single region in the middle. So now I realize, oh, well, that allows me now, sort of unlocks the other regions. If I now read backwards, 6 are in both French and German. Can I fill something in now? 6 in French and German. 3 of them are already there, so 3 are in that region. Backwards, 4 that are in both Spanish and German. What can I fill in? 1. I keep going. 12 are in both Spanish and French. I can put 9 over there. Keep going. 16 in the German class. Well, I already have 7. And then you say, I'm going to include you. That German here. 26 in the French class. How many do I already have? 15. 26 in total in the French circle. No one wants.
It's 11. That's what I was going to say.
Sorry, I didn't hear it. You know, at my age. 28 in Spanish. Is there any other region? I want to do as much as I can because it's going to make the next step as easy as possible. So I want to make sure I include everything I can. And anything that's not included but stated, I'm going to have to put somewhere so I don't forget about it. Any region missing?
Well, I don't know. I was looking at the next question.
No, we're not speaking yet. This is our setup phase.
Okay.
Setup phase. Trying to make those questions as easy as possible. And it's going to give me the best opportunity if I put as much in as I can. As much information now. There's another region.
The outside.
The outside is also a region. It doesn't have a number in it. Can I put a number in it?
Yeah.
What is that number? How much? 49. Slowly subtracting everything I already have inside the circle has to leave the outside. Because the rectangle has 100. I don't need to. You can if you want to. A lot of this is going to be sort of just based on the diagram and pulling from that to find the answer. I feel that if you get caught up naming everything, it gets really confusing and unnecessary. But no, everything has a name. It's just not going to look nice sometimes. So now every possible region here has a number. This is the simplest case, the basic question, where I'm able to fill in everything. No region is empty. Now I can answer their questions. How many students are taking one or more language classes? Let me color that. So, remember the step was identify the regions that the question now wants. So I'm looking for one or more language classes. And I claim it is this area over here. Not a very pretty flower, but there it is. Does anyone agree? One or more. So then, I'm going to remove the color because we have more questions. It's as simple as adding them up. 1 plus 3 plus 3 plus 9 to get 16. Now the question is so straightforward, a concluding sentence isn't necessary. You read the question, you read that, it's obvious what your answer is. Yes?
I would have thought it was 51. Why do you not?
I agree.
The other
It says one or more. That's not.
No one questioned me, so I just kept going. I specifically asked, does everyone agree with my pink region? They were like, yeah. No one said anything though. I need correcting. No, the pink region wasn't good? No, why did you let me embarrass myself like that?
Very non-confrontational.
Do I need that middle region? Should that be included? Okay, yeah. The 9? Yes. The 1 and the 3. 1 or more, so these 15 are taking one class. One class. So all of them. So 51. You can write out, oh, this plus this plus this. Just make sure you count it correctly. It's safer to say 15 plus 9 plus 3 plus 1 plus 3 plus 11 plus 9. So that in case you do an addition mistake, you did show that you are pulling from the correct regions. Now I just realized that I can't undo my pink check mark.
Eraser. Do other check marks.
I'll just do other check marks. All right, question me. I just say random things on purpose. See who's paying attention. How many students are not taking any language classes? See, I've already done all the work. It's the 49. There's literally nothing to do. I've done the work. The setup already did all of that question. Now, I didn't know that initially. I just kind of got lucky. And sometimes there's a little bit to do. Sometimes there is almost nothing to do. I still had to identify that it's the outside region. So it's not that bad. Then, how many students are in exactly one language class? So blue.
35.
Is it the 3?
No.
Is it the 1?
No.
Is it the 9?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It was
Is it the 15?
Yes.
Is it the 11?
Yeah.
Is it the 49?
No.
Is it the 9?
Yeah.
If you find this a little bit straightforward and boring, don't worry. Tomorrow I
Don't worry,
will.
it gets way worse.
Not worse, more interesting.
Of course, stay positive.
Exactly. Okay. So again, the basic one gives the information in a way that allows me to fill in everything. let's just look at how much more interesting it can get by looking at exercise 5.5, which is on page 40. Let's read it together first and then see what we can do. A certain school has 200 students. Of these students, 90 are enrolled in a psychology course, 100 in an engineering course, while 70 are enrolled in an economics course. Exactly 30 students are enrolled in both a psychology and an economics course, while 20 are enrolled in courses from all three these subjects. Lastly, 50 out of the 200 students are enrolled only in engineering. And then they ask me some questions, and I don't really want to read that right now because I'll just obsess over the question and not let the steps set it up for me.
This
So-
is, sorry, this is problem 5.5?
Exercise 5.5.
Okay, gotcha.
So I try and avoid the actual question portion because I don't want it to confuse me. So I'm going to set up a Venn diagram. Let's put it over here, maybe. How many sets am I going to have in my Venn diagram? 3 sets. So I put them in general position because I don't know much about them yet and I can't remember everything they said. My universal set is going to go out here. Do I have information about the universal set? 200. So I might as well put that in. What do you want the name of your first set to be? P. And then I need to say what P represents. Do I say that P represents psychology?
Number of students.
No, because it's not a course. It's a collection of people. Do I say P represents the number of people?
No.
You could, but then you need lines there. You can't have one without the other. If I don't have lines, which makes a little more sense, I'm just defining the name, then it's the set or collection of people taking some sort of psychology. Name for the next set. Not E? I have 2 E's, so that might create some confusion.
E-N.
E-N? Okay, maybe, sure. Sure. Not that there was anything wrong with your N.
Sounds like there was.
Okay, no, I should give him preference. You're right. He was first. If you want your EN.
No, that's fine.
No, you were first, so didn't put your hand up or whatever.
Oh.
Kidding. She didn't either. N represents the set. You can just say the people, sure, but don't say, you have to make it clear that it's people and not the subject. Sorry, that wasn't very clear. Set of people taking engineering. And then the last one. I still don't love the E
C.
because I could confuse it with engineering. It's not a fan. Oh, you beat me to it.
Economics.
Yeah, you beat me to it. Next one. I do love an X. Let C represent the set. It's a little tedious to write these sentences, but knowing that I'm going to get 1 mark for doing that, I feel a little better. That I'm not wasting my time. Then even if the rest of the question is a complete disaster, I have no idea what I'm doing, I still get 1 out of 4. That's pretty good. I'll take that. Now let's zoom in and see what we can do with putting in some numbers in these regions in the Venn diagram. So So, I mean, I don't really know where to start, so I just start at the beginning. I already have the 200. Of these, 90 are enrolled in a psychology course. Can I put 90 in my Venn diagram? No, psychology right now has 4 circles. Maybe later I could, but right now I'm not ready for the 90, and I might have to loop back, which is fine. I'm gonna have to do it twice at least. 100 in an engineering course? No, same problem, I'm not ready to put it in. While 70 are enrolled in an economics course, same thing. So I'll come back to those. Exactly 30 students are enrolled in both the psychology and an economics course. Can I put that in?
No.
I may want to, but if it's not time, it's not time. Psychology and economics will be these two, and that's 2 empty regions. And if I put a number in there, I'm going to forget, what does that 30 mean? Because it's a bigger problem. I might come back after a few minutes and not be sure what that means. So that rule is there for my safety. So I keep going, patience. While 20 are enrolled in courses from all 3 of these subjects. There we go. 20, I can put that in, because that's a single region. Lastly, 50 out of the 200 students are enrolled only in engineering. Can I put that in?
Not yet.
Why not? What is the region, what is the area in the Venn diagram that is corresponding to only engineering courses? Is it a single region or multiple regions?
It's a single.
It is a single region because, okay, first of all, it's engineering. These guys over here, they're taking multiple courses. These guys over there, multiple courses. The only people taking only engineering are these ones over here. And that's a single region, so I can put in a 50. And I definitely want to put in a lot. And if I'm able to, I will make my life much easier if I put it in. Now I remember that there were other numbers that I'm going to have to now check. 90 enrolled in psychology. I still can't put it in. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to. I do want to get it out of the question, so I'll put it alongside. To remember that I have that information that might be useful later. I can't put it in the Venn diagram. No matter how many times I'm going to loop back, it's not going to happen. 100 students in engineering courses. Can I put that in? The engineering circle does look much better, but there are still 2 regions. And I don't know for sure. So I'll put it alongside. It's not a big deal. 100. 70 enrolled in economics. No, economics has like 3 regions still missing. So that's going to have to wait. That was 70, right? Yes. All right. As long as I get it out of the question to know what I have available when I'm going to the next part. 30 students are enrolled in both a psychology and an economics course. Can I put that information in there? Not can I put the 30 in, but can I put the information in? Yes, because these 2 together make 30, which means that has to be 10. And I don't have to write it on the side because I do have that information in there. As long as everything is extracted from the question, because I'm not sure what I'm going to be needing. The 20 we've already used, the 50 we've already used, we've put everything on the page. And you see the difference between this kind of question and the previous example is that we are not able to put numbers in every region. Based on how they give me the information, it is not possible to know what every region has. It's impossible. But it's going to be okay. This is as far as I can go. What's the next step? What is the next step?
Figure out the remainder.
Sorry, say again?
Figure out the remainder for psychology.
That's not the next step. What is the next step? We wrote it down, we had numbers for them, it was the whole thing. Maybe look back.
Identify what the question is.
Identify what the question is, because I don't want to make work for myself, right? Yes, I could do other things, but if the question isn't asking that, why would I bother? Let's go with the color here. Let's go, I think a blue, that's a nice blue. So, whoa, hey, I had the blue, stop. No, stop. Such a nice blue, now I lost it. There we go. Let's go with wanted area. Because they're asking something, that something relates to the Venn diagram. Which region or regions or area do they want me to find numbers for? Make it blue. Now I look at the question part. And I'm looking for the number of students enrolled in at least 2 of the 3 subjects. What does at least 2 mean? 2 or more. So I'm looking at students in 2 or more subjects. 2 or more circles. Is it the top one?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's psychology and engineering. That's 2 or more. Is it this one?
Yeah.
Is it this one?
Yes.
Is it this one?
Yes.
Not the outside one, because that's only a single subject. So I'll highlight it. I'm looking for all of these regions. Colors make it nice. Nice to look at, more interesting, all those things. So my area that I'm looking for is that blue little flower thing. I'm sure it has a name, but I don't know. Does everyone agree with that's what I'm looking for? We have to understand what they're looking for before we worry about how we're going to find it. Question comes first. People rush to the answer and they didn't really check the question. All right. The issue here is that we are not able to say specifically how many are in there and how many are in those 2 missing regions separately. Impossible. And coming from our previous simpler kind of question, we were able to find numbers for every single region, and then whatever they asked, we just add those numbers together. So you might be tempted in this case to say the same thing, that I want to find numbers in these 2 empty regions so that I can add everything up. But it's not possible. It's also not what they're asking. They're asking for the total number of students in the blue area. That's all I care about. They're not asking for what are the individual regions in the blue area. Those are 2 different questions. One I can answer, one I can't. I'm only looking for the total. Total. So now I have to come up with a plan for how to find the total number of people in the blue area. What can I do? Let's stare at the screen until I say something again. That's a good strategy. What I can do is try and find the missing pieces together. I don't care what they are individually. That's not the question. But I can find them together. How do I find them together?
50 minus 20.
Not 50 minus 20, but yes, it does involve the 50 and the 20. Yes, sorry, he was first.
Sorry.
Take your total for engineering, which is 100, and subtract your 2 givens.
if I take the total engineering circle, take away the black 20 and 50, I'm left with the two missing ones, which would be 30. I'll never know what they are individually. There's just not information to tell me that. But I don't need to. I just need to know how many there are in total. So my total for the whole blue area is then 10 plus 20 plus the 30 to give me 60. And I'm done.
Can you repeat how you
Which part?
Because, like,
The 30?
yeah.
So the two missing pieces are in the engineering circle. Right, they're in the end circle. And they're the only two missing pieces in the whole end circle. I know the whole end circle contains 100 people. 20 and 50 are already accounted for. So the rest have to be in those blue somewhere in those two X regions. I don't know where. It could be all 30 and 0 in the other one. I have no idea. It could be a nice, more balanced mix. All I know is a total of 30. Yes.
Why can't we solve for the big part of C, because we know of C70? and-
Big part of C.
Or
The bottom?
yeah,
How would you do that?
we know.
I know that
70
70,
total,
yes.
And then, wouldn't it be 40? Oh.
No, but there's a little
Oh,
bit,
so no, okay,
Yeah.
okay, I got you.
which is an overlap with N, and I have no idea what that is. You're right. But luckily, I don't need to, right? The question doesn't care about how many are just taking economics. If that was the question, they would have to give me more information. I can't find it. So the difference between these kinds of questions and the previous basic ones is that they can't just ask me anything. They're giving me numbers and information to answer their question and not much else. Whereas the previous one, once I have the setup done, I filled in all the numbers, I can literally answer everything that they could possibly ask. So it's tempting to come to this question and think, I want to know this. I want to know the bottom of the C circle. You can't. You'll never know. But that's not what they're asking. I only have enough to answer their question. Which makes it a little more difficult, yes.
Please remember to click the like button if you enjoyed the video and to subscribe if you want to be notified of more videos. Thank you.